morning, everyone, and welcome to SMESOS, the 7th episode. SMESOS is a life raft designed for small businesses when things are tough, and it is my greatest honour to be able to serve. Sorry, as ever, slightly, you rush around, you put a glittery headband on and then you don't look in the mirror, but then you go live with everybody. Welcome. Today we are going to be talking about something you're all going to want to hear about. So many of you spoke about sales being low. So many of you spoke about this. One of the reasons why we're here. So many of you spoke about how tough things are. So many of you spoke about, well, how do we not rely on Instagram to be that one and only platform that we get our sales? Today, we're going to talk about all things wholesale. That's right. We're going to be joined by an expert. That is someone who works, Julia, Head of Communications at Faire, F-A-I-R-E, which is basically, think of it like not on the high street, but for wholesale. And it's going to be a fantastic session. We're going to get right into it. We're going to understand wholesale. Just if you've never done it, remember, this is the place where we are vulnerable. If you've never done it, we're going to even explain what it is. And then we're going to talk about, are you set up to do it? So if you haven't built in your margins correctly, then wholesale is going to be very, very difficult for you. So we're going to then unpick that for you to understand, and maybe the community who, shall I just slow down, Holly? Slow down. I mean, I'm just like, it's been a morning already. I'll just take a breath. In for 4, hold for 4. Out for 4. That's what I learned about breathing. Right. Okay. So we're going to be learning that if you do not do wholesale right now, how you might add it in. And we're going to ask the community, all of you who do wholesale, for your top tips for anyone who doesn't do wholesale. What I would ask is, I bet you all know someone who could do with going wholesale. I bet you all know someone who might be struggling. So as I do ask every morning, go and think about someone who really needs to hear this, who really needs to understand what wholesale is. Please tag them in now. You would be giving me such a big warm snuggle cuddle this morning if I start to see the ats tagging people in, because this is then showing that this community cares about one another, that we're not going to hold all the information just for ourselves, that we try and get it out to as many people. So think about someone. Could every single person tag one person, please, now? And if we can keep doing this, thank you, everyone. I've got Pegs and Play, who's tagged in. I've got Sally. Also, we've got, who else is tagging people? Little Rabbit Cards. And Dart, we've got Sophia. Thank you so much, everyone. Keep going, keep tagging people in. 1 tag per person. That's all we need to help spread this message. So what things are coming up? Well, I thought that we could have some fun, a breakfast together on Friday, where not this Friday, no, tomorrow's Friday, we've got brilliant Dave Buonaguidi and Eleanor from Marby and Elm coming on, and we're going to be talking about creativity and keeping your creativity alive, and what we need to do, because guess what? We are responsible for that. No one is going to wake you up in the morning and give you a creativity breakfast that you suddenly scoff away and you think, oh my gosh, I feel so much more empowered and inspired. Thank you, everyone. Keep tagging away. This is brilliant. So that's going to be fantastic. But next Friday, I'm going to be doing a sort of Easter Friday QVC moment. So put that in your diary. That's not tomorrow, but next Friday. Yesterday, I went to a book launch. Check out my stories. Michaela Green, she has written this book called The Money Edit. I know that's backwards for you. And this is actually not just about business. Actually, it's not really about business. This is basically gives you the confidence and clarity to understand money, and whatever stage of life you're at, tackle it, back in control of your financial situations. She's actually going to be joining us on Monday at 10 a.m. to help us with our finances, because as we know, when our personal finances go wrong, and lots of our finances are so combined with our business finances, as in when our business do well, home does well, etc., etc., It's very stressful, and it is one of the most stressful things you can deal with. So Michaela's going to come on, and we're actually going to talk about us as humans, as mums, as dads, as people, rather than just business owners. What can we do with our finances just to help calm our nerves? Also, I want to say, today I launched Lightbulb Moments with Richard Reed. It's 15 minutes, okay? I'm going to be testing you all tomorrow on things I said and things that happen in it. Remember, Lightbulb Moments is an episode that I put together because what I found is on Conversations of Inspiration, my jaw is dropping with these amazing founders that come on, and I want to soak up for all of you all of the information. I come off those podcasts though, sometimes with such ideas and thoughts, then they percolate for, Richard Reed, 2018 I recorded him, 4 years. It's probably still one of the top podcasts I've recorded. Richard Reed, who created Innocent Smoothies. And what I've done with Lightbulb Moments is shared with you what has percolated over the years. Now, this is about having fun in your business. Now, I know I might look like I'm a real fun person, and I sort of am a little bit, but I'm also a bit of a fun sponge too. I have those two sides to me. And SpongeBob SquarePants, I haven't said that in many years. That was Harry's favourite. So what this episode has reminded me, though, of is that fun, that absolutely, that thing that just makes you smile. When a brand does something, he talks about the smartness. He doesn't talk about it. I tell him how smart it is, where they have on the bottom of Innocent smoothie bottles, does my bum look big in this? Oh no, don't look at my bum or something. Gosh, you'd think I get it right now. I've just had I've been having to do a few events each evening, and it's just taken its little toll on me. Or in the ingredients, 2 plump nuns. So it goes apples, oranges, pears, bananas, 2 plump nuns, kiwis, etc., etc. And honestly, this is genius. This is business genius. So have a listen today. I try and be a bit fun in it. Cringe. And it's just 15 minutes. And tomorrow I'm going to test everybody on Lightbulb Moments. And there's prizes for the winners. So that's over on Conversations of Inspiration. Right. Let's not talk about 2 plump nuns or anything like that. Let's think about wholesale. And actually, before we think about wholesale, let's read out some comments. Ivy and Betty, morning, been waiting for this. Fantastic. Wouldn't you love? I need this information in my life. Little Label Store, love Faire and their payment terms. Teal and Peach, I've discovered so many businesses to stock via Faire. Kylie's Felkus, excited for this live. Scouts Honour, Faire has been incredible for me moving to wholesale. Supernova Celebrant, love this. Creativity is problem solving. Sparkled Equal Shop, I love Lightbulb Moments. Thank you so much. That's my new addition to Conversations of Inspiration. And it was a bit of a lightbulb moment doing it. So I'm so happy when I see how many people are listening to it. Tens of thousands each week. I am so honoured. Hello, Time Planner. Love Lightbulb Moments. Thank you so much, because it really is me just talking to you. I sit down and I do it like no one's involved. I just sit down and I basically talk, and it's just one of those moments that's actually again become a favourite, and I can't believe it's my job. Right. Can you buy wholesale to do this? Right, I'm going to Floral Grace and Clothing. We're going to answer that question in a moment. Let's just recap what wholesale is and the benefits. It can increase your average order value and volume. You control over supply. You have control over supply. You have more control over product inventory and order fulfillment. You get fixed margin of profit, increase in brand visibility. But some of the downsides are payment terms. Some of the downsides are we get sort of starstruck and blinded by the big names that might order from us with payment terms that absolutely do not suit small businesses. Of course, you're making less than if you went direct to a customer. And so if you have that model that you're going direct to a customer, I wouldn't necessarily be advising you to now go and scrap that and go wholesale. I think that there is a blend. And remember why we're doing this. And we're going to come to Julie now, who is going to be joining us from Faire. But this is all about how do we diversify? This is all, do you remember where this started? SMESOS has come back live because people were having trouble with their sales. We were relying on Instagram. We only rely on Instagram. So many of us have built our businesses through Instagram. It is time where we rip the plaster off, and over the last 6 sessions, we've been talking about the fact that you must start to think outside the Insta box. That's a brilliant comment by one of the community members. Think outside the Insta box. What else are you doing? If Instagram's algorithm goes out again, what else are you doing to pay those bills? What else are you doing to grow? What do you have complete control over and an algorithm doesn't have control over? Right, so we're going to be going to Faire now. I'm so excited to talk to this wonderful lady who's, I don't know what the time difference. I'm thinking well, let's just see. Julia can tell us where she is in the world, and joining us today to talk about, hello.
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm lovely. How are you?
I'm brilliant. Where are you in the world?
Today I'm actually in London. I'm in our Fitzrovia Soho office. With
Fantastic. And do you live in London?
I do not. I live in San Francisco. So it just was serendipitous that I was here for this conversation.
How fantastic. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, Julia, we have I would love you to introduce yourself, but to give you context, we brought on SMESOS, which is basically to help small businesses when times are tough. And a lot of us have been relying on Instagram. A lot of us have been relying on things that maybe we're not in complete control over. And so one of the sessions we wanted to cover was wholesale. We heard your name. We heard the amazing work that Faire's doing. And so it's fantastic you can be with us today. Can you just introduce yourself and what you do at Faire?
Yeah, well, thank you, first of all, for inviting me. This is such an exciting and lively community. I love all the comments and the hearts. So fun to be here. This is a great start to my day. Yeah, so my name is Julia Waneka. I am head of comms here at Faire, which means I have the great pleasure of telling the stories of our brands and retailers that use our platform and getting to know all the great entrepreneurs who are building incredible businesses, especially at this exciting, critical moment in history. I came to Faire kind of through a series of relationships. It's a very relationship-based business, as you can imagine. And I was really inspired and thrilled to join because I come from a family of entrepreneurs, and I know how much passion, how much time, how much effort goes into kicking off a project, building a brand, opening a shop, and knowing that finally someone had found a vision and a process to build tools and resources that would help level the playing field and make it possible to pursue your dreams was so motivating to me. So I've been here now. It'll be 3 years tomorrow. Tomorrow's my anniversary. And so very, very exciting journey so far. And we've been in the UK for 1 year. We just celebrated our 1-year anniversary. So we've been learning a lot about this region and how to support brands and retailers here in the UK.
Fantastic. And it's going to be such an interesting conversation because, of course, my background is in a marketplace. My whole last 17 years of my life has been doing this. So I'm super interested to talk to you. So could you tell me a little bit more about the background in Faire and what it actually does? So if we can imagine, lots of people saying they do know about you, but there could be a lot of people who maybe don't know.
Yeah, of course. Well, I think, at its heart, Faire is a platform for brands and retailers, individuals who want to build their business the way they want to. So we serve entrepreneurs who are either on the brand side, maker side, or in independent retail. So folks that are starting up community-based retail or have been in it for years and just are ready for some tools. And I'm sorry, if I'm fidgeting, I'm just making sure my screen doesn't go dark.
Yeah.
So the way that we do that, we have a marketplace, like you mentioned, where on one side, brands can build a shop and a presence and start to sell wholesale to retailers around the world. On Faire, we have 400,000 retailers now across North America, Europe, and the UK. And we also have 60,000 brands from around the world, primarily, again, North America, Europe, and the UK, but also a handful of really selected, curated brands from really wonderful places in the world like Thailand and Japan and Mexico. So you can find incredible things in our marketplace. And our ethos, the reason we exist is because, like I said, our founders saw an opportunity to level the playing field for retailers that they knew really made a difference in their community, knew a lot about the products that they were selling, and also would sell brands that were really special and thoughtful, aligned with more values that consumers are looking for. There's a whole place in the world for, commodity goods and things that we need every day. And there's some standardization that can give us some confidence that certain products, but there's a lot of products in our life that we really want to know align with our values, represent who we are as people, and we wanted to serve those customers. Our founders all come from Square, actually. They met at Square, and so they actually worked with merchants and saw that building really simple tools could make a big difference and really unlock value for really cool entrepreneurs like yourself and everyone here. So
fantastic. Thank you so much. Great explanation. I'm going to be reading out some comments, and I'm going to have to come to the community questions in between my questions because there are so many. So you ready? Here we go. So Michelle, these are just comments. Michelle Cordbin Designs. This is one I've been looking forward to. Interested and notebook at the ready. Hello at me now. I have done a wholesale course and signed up with Faire. Now this is the universe telling me it's time to step up. Calm lettering. Faire was such an easy to set up, manage, and I love getting an email saying I've had a big, and I loved getting an email saying I've had a big order. It's amazing. I've had a couple of orders on there now. Emma Semporium. This is exactly what I need right now. Green Dreamer UK, Faire has been great for my business. Thank you. Linda Marima, yay, I'm on Faire. Got my first order last week. Right, here we go. Let's keep maybe the questions to a minute answer because otherwise we're asking you to be the fountain of every single thing of knowledge of wholesale. Okay, so we're going to go easy on you, but I'm sure you'll be fine. Floral Grace Clothing. It sounds silly to ask, but I've always wanted to do a little subscription box. Can you buy wholesale to do this? Is that allowed?
I believe so. I think that we found that this is something that a lot of people are looking for. Consumers really like curated selections, and through the pandemic, a lot of people moved away from hometowns, from places that they were, moved back to hometowns. So I think this is one of the modes that we actually adapted as a marketplace to better serve. We initially really focused on bricks and mortar and really focused on people with physical presence. But as we learned through the pandemic, there's no such thing as a single channel anymore in retail. We really need to be in multiple places. And so we found a way to serve online retailers as well. So we do have a handful of folks that do subscription products. I will double check and we will follow up and make sure that that is a very, very yes, always allowed on Faire answer. And that's something that our risk team would come check on me with. But
that's fine. I mean, I think that's a great answer there. Sweet Marie Jewelry, does Faire work for luxury or premium products?
Absolutely. I think what we do serve, all price points. Our mission is to serve entrepreneurs wherever they choose and however they choose to build their business. So if it's value focused, you can find what you want on Faire. But also we have built just a really great community of really high quality art and artisans and really beautiful products and really curated items that are very special. And that's actually what a lot of folks look for. Our most popular filter on our platform is not sold on Amazon. People are looking for kind of that like product that really aligns with what they want. So we do see a lot of success with high end and luxury products.
That's great. We've got Krisha, my friend. Is there a general rule of thumb for pricing wholesale, and how do you set a minimum order?
Yeah, there's a lot of different schools of thought here. There's a whole concept of keystone pricing. Our sales team actually will work with you and help you kind of set those goals. I think there's a lot of formulas you can follow. I know sometimes it's figuring out like what you need baseline and then adding a margin on top of what you'd like to make. And so that could be anywhere between like 20 to 50%. It really depends on your category. And I think it depends on your product and your end customer. And so figuring out that sort of nuance of how you position your product is the answer. I think the rule of thumb is out there, and you can Google and find a lot of strong opinions. But as we know, your product and your customer are really the most important. So we actually have teams of customer experts, and we also have just loads of content on Faire, articles in our blog and in our help space that can help you kind of navigate those questions.
Brilliant. Because that's such a key one, isn't it? Because actually, if you do not have the margin, wholesale's not going to work for you. So it's actually, and also it's that confidence on what that margin should look like. And we talk about that a lot here.
Exactly.
Jasmine and Lily floral wreaths, do you have to make a certain amount high volume? Do you have to make a certain amount high? So yeah, are you looking for people to be, have to bring in X amount of orders?
No, we really, again, like our mission is really about you and how you want to build your business. I think the people who do best on Faire are prepared for wholesale. So they have the ability to kind of meet the demand that we intend to drive them. And so being able to fulfill the orders, and, it's not ideal if everything is like handmade and bespoke, especially if you're going into wholesale. That's probably that's going to crush your margins, and it's going to be really hard to fill demand. So I think that's really like one of the keys to unlock success, is being prepared for wholesale and having kind of the baselines of when you get orders and when you get interest, you're able to meet the need. But you are in control of your business when you're on Faire. You are deciding how big of orders you want to fulfill. You're setting these kind of expectations on your Faire page. There are things that will help you kind of make the most of Faire, and we'll give you those suggestions. But we don't have contract requirements.
Yeah. Brilliant. So that's great to know there. A couple of comments before a few more questions. Kylie Falcus, this is so exciting hearing about everyone's wholesale orders. Lemon Natures, Naturals. I love the community on here. So many people offering to help other people. It's amazing. And yes, you're right there, Lemon Naturals. That's exactly what the Holly&Co community is. We've got Emma's Emporium 27. I've applied to Faire. How long does it take to hear back?
Oh, that's a $1 million question for me. I don't know that answer. We try to be as quick as possible. We have a high demand, as you can imagine. We have opened up in multiple markets, but we do try to get people through the process as quickly as possible. If you are looking to kind of get answers, our support team is incredible. I think one of the strengths of Faire, and like one of our superpowers, is our support team and their ability to drive to answers. I wish that I actually knew
Yeah, well, and also, let's before I go on to another question here, Faire is curated, correct?
We are curated marketplace. We really focus on making sure that we have the products that retailers want to carry in stores. We also are working on ways to make sure that people who can be successful, people who want to sell, the things that our retailers are looking for, are not facing tons of barriers getting onto our platform. So it's kind of this art and science of letting folks onto the platform, getting set up, and making sure, like we said, they're going to be successful.
Yeah. And I think that's the difficulty of curated marketplaces and the beauty of them. Obviously, Not on the High Street was curated 17 years, still is curated, but there is almost that other side, which is you're serving the retailer. You have an idea of what the retailer wants. If you let everybody on, the retailer wouldn't use Faire, and so it would eat itself. But if you then let people go with love, then obviously you've got people being what they perceive as rejected, which ultimately probably is not them being rejected. It's just that the client you have, this is not what they're looking for. How do you handle that? Because there's going to be people here that maybe apply today that don't make it on.
We're really mindful about category saturation, and I think our success is aligned with our customers' success. So if we're not setting people up to sell and make these relationships on the platform, we're really not helping ourselves out either. At the end of the day, that's one of my favorite things about working here is our incentives are the same as our customers. So we take a good look at where we're at in our marketplace, where we have maybe a lot of products that are already in a category, and this one maybe isn't going to stand out alongside. So that's the main consideration, is really, will you be successful on Faire? And we try to give that feedback. We try to make sure that people know kind of what Faire is and how it's resourced. But at the end of the day, we really are seeking to empower as many entrepreneurs as we can. And we have incredibly smart teams behind our data, teams behind the product that are really solving for really all levels of independent retail and wholesale.
Fantastic. We've got Otsu. Has anyone sold short shelf life or chilled products via Faire?
We do. We have some products, like we do have some food and beverage products. I think ideally we're not really going into grocery or perishable like at the moment. That's
a whole other ball game.
But a number of really cool confectionery brands. We have a juice brand that I just met out of France, and they do really well on the platform. I think your logistics maybe are a little bit more complicated and making sure that you're communicating really well with your customers. But our food and beverage section category on the marketplace is really strong, and we have an incredible team behind it who is really, they have tons of expertise and are really resourceful and have good answers for that.
Fantastic. LC Boo Wax, is it correct you need a separate email for your buying account and your selling account?
Actually, that's one of those in the weeds questions. I don't know.
Where should Alice Boo Wax go? Just head to the website and...
So our help center is full of articles with just tons of guidance. And then if you don't find it there, we do have, like I said, an incredible support team.
Perfect. House of Hugo Co., what profit margin would you recommend? I never know what to charge. Well, I think House of Hugo, we almost said Faire's got all the articles on their site. You also can Google it. And also, I think, am I right, Julie, if they apply and they get through, your actual team will help people, guide people on what those prices could look like.
Right. We have a brand partnerships team that is just super keyed in on your category, your type of product. I think the thing that I would counsel, my point of view as Julia Waneka, person on this conversation, I think understanding really where your end consumer wants to purchase the product at. I think that's like a very, that marketing concept of like price and position and making sure that they can sell through, that your retailer isn't going to be stuck with hard decisions of discounting your products or things like that. They're able to sell through to your customers at a great price while you're still making a margin is sort of your magic price point.
Fantastic. I've got a question from Hello Time Planner, and I'm wondering which side she's talking about here. Do you have to have a bricks and mortar shop to be on Faire? So if she wants to stock her amazing time management notebooks on the site, I'm assuming that's fine for other retailers to buy from, and she doesn't need to have a bricks and mortar shop. But if she wanted, I'm thinking she's asking if she doesn't have a bricks and mortar shop and actually wants to buy wholesale, buy other items, can she buy things and just put it on her website?
We do sell to online retailers, yeah. So online retailers are able to leverage our marketplace. And that's something, like I said, that came through the experience of the pandemic, as we saw bricks and mortar stores actually have no opportunity to open in a lot of markets. A lot of them were able to pivot, become really resilient, and add online shops to their platform, or to their offering, their channels. So we do support online shops.
Fantastic. We've got Snoo Booze. Can you promote your brand individually, or is it a case of retailers just scrolling through and finding you?
You have a shop, so you have a page on Faire where you really present your products, your category, your story. We find that retailers are looking for stories and values that align with them, with what they're looking to stock their store with, but also with their customers. So you can really present yourself in a really robust way. We also offer market events where we twice a year, a couple more times a year, we have folks come on and we put together a ton of promotion and focus on these days, and we help match promotion pricing and really create this really event-based experience for folks. And that's a really nice way to build a lot of new relationships as well. We just finished one in February called Faire Winter Market, and then coming up in the summer we'll have a Faire Summer Market. And so those are really great opportunities to also get out there and build new relationships. But we find that people discover their brands through, again, these value searches. They do kind of have the experiential discovery aspect that's fun on Faire, but you can also really put yourself out there and be discovered.
A couple of questions here. What is the commission on Faire, and does Faire set shipping costs?
We negotiate logistics and shipping costs for our community. So we really, one of the things about the size of Faire is that we're able to negotiate these solutions and work with folks to get really great pricing that really is hard to do on your own. We have a few different shipping solutions. So there are ways that you can ship on your own. You can ship with Faire. We make it really clear for you to be able to figure out what's best for your business and what's going to help you really serve all of those orders and maintain your goals. We have a couple of specifics to our commission structure. So we do have a first commission that when we bring you a new retailer, we take a commission on that, and then from there drop it down as reorders go. But we also have something called Faire Direct, where you're able to bring on relationships that you already have. And so if you've built that relationship outside of Faire, we did not bring you that business initially. We take 0% commission on that. So you're able to build ideally, if we're taking commission, it's because it's net new business that you wouldn't have received otherwise, and we brought it to you. And then from there, if you're building relationships at trade shows, on Instagram, et cetera, you're bringing them to the platform and placing your orders there. We don't take a commission on that.
Fantastic. And what's the rough commission? Is it 25%? I think people have got that. That's what's coming through the comments.
Yes. So the first order is 25, and then from there, I believe it is 15. And that is our standard. And that's kind of just like I said, our goal is to bring you so much business that
absolutely. It's a sale that you wouldn't get unless you were on Faire. That's the whole point of it, isn't it? It's do you have Ellis and Elephant, do you have to have stock printed and ready to go, or can you sign up? This is a good question, actually. Can you sign up and print when the orders come in? So, for a lot of small businesses, they might then get an order for 200. Are you expecting them to have 200 of those items there and then?
Well, again, this is how you position your product, and you can set sort of the shipping timelines, the order timelines. It's something that, folks do like to have quick returns on their orders if they're ordering, and that's something that you can do to position yourself as competitive. But at the same time, there's also value and across categories needs for pre-orders. And so we do have capabilities that support that. I think this is a good question in terms of the value of wholesale, or what it feels like to go into wholesale as a brand. And with wholesale, you start to get a sense of repeat orders. You start to get a sense of your minimum orders. You kind of get a sense of how quickly turning things around can help you build that relationship. And so I think that's a muscle building with wholesale. It's instead of kind of Faire requiring or expecting it of our brands, it's something that you discover in terms of how you deliver to your customer.
Yeah, I can imagine. So for someone obviously who's prepared to take that order for 200 and have it shipped next week, fantastic for the independent. Someone who says you can have 200, it's going to take a month. That's up to you to work out. Are you competitive amongst your marketplace peers? Thimble and Fabric, do you have any advice on standing out as a retailer on Faire? I haven't had any sales yet, so it would be great to hear your advice. So and also maybe this links to size 3 art. Do you have any advice or tips for product images on Faire?
Yeah, well, so that was going to be standing out to retailers is you're appealing to consumers, right? Retailers are people, and they're buying based on personal aspects, curation, their edit, their taste. And so figuring out the way for them to really quickly identify your value, your product, your story, and how it's going to sell in their stores is the best way to stand out and kind of catch their heart. So it's that merchandising yourself on Faire and in your brand. So telling your brand story, we have a place where you can kind of explain about the brand, why you started, why you exist. That's a really compelling point for a lot of retailers. Brand photography, having really fresh, clear, great photography is a really helpful thing. As you know, we're very visual creatures, we're visual shoppers, we're looking for things that jump out to us. And so if you're presented really aesthetically well and your brand kind of comes through in your photography, that will help also translate. Full catalogs and refreshed catalogs, coming up with collections, things that help the retailer understand how your product is going to perform alongside their other products and how it's going to fit into their merchandising strategy is also a really quick thing. I think, the way that I often think about this is how quickly can I answer all of the questions that they might have or they don't know that they yet have, and kind of make it a very easy yes for them is the best way to stand out. This is again where we have just on our blog, the studio and the storefront, we have a ton of advice. We have great case studies, examples, and then on the help center, there's a lot of just tactical insights and ways that you can improve your wholesale.
Brilliant. We've got a few more questions here. I've got from the oak tree. Is it very different to Friends of Joules? The only thing I'd say, isn't Friends of Joules direct to customer?
I'm actually not familiar with that marketplace. Is that
okay? Yeah, I think it is the oak tree. Unless I'm totally wrong there. I haven't actually ever looked at it, but I will look at it. Flower Child Heirloom. I can imagine most people underprice. Do you have any top tips or resourcing on pricing? Again, Flower Child Heirloom, you might have missed it, but Julia was saying how there's tons of articles about this on Faire, about pricing, about how you might look at it. It's a really individual thing because, we all don't know, if I'm a potter and I'm hand making everything, compared to someone who might be doing something that takes them a few minutes, is very, very different. Remember, I wrote about it in my book, Do What You Love, Love What You Do, about pricing, about how it's such a key element that we all need to be guarding our own time, valuing our own time as women, all these sorts of things. So please do have a look at Faire. Have a look at the book. We've got some comments. Slugs and Snails. Faire set up our shop and it was seamless and easy. Kylie's Falcus. I'm loving the sound of flexibility with Faire. Jasmine and Lily Floral Reese. Thank you. I'll definitely be getting in touch. Calm Lettering. I love how you can set up your own pricing and choose where you ship, as well as choosing which of your products you want to sell on Faire. Fauna Kids. This is on my list this month. Definitely going to apply. Kylie's Falcus, these markets sound absolutely great. It's lovely to hear about the Faire world. Loving hearing more. Wouldn't You Love, do you send the products direct to the retailer? Well, I think Wouldn't You Love, you might have missed that. It's up to you how you're going to do this. Faire offer. I'm becoming one of your promotional people here. Faire offers you many ways that you can send these items. But if you look back at this IGTV, we do answer that question. Tell me, what would you say, because I've taken up so much of your time, what would you say is the sort of end goal of Faire? Why is Faire here, and what is success for you?
Well, the end goal, in terms of what are we building, we want to be an operating system for brands and retailers. So we believe independent retail is a huge market. We know it is. We know that it's underserved, that there are tools and data and things that really big retailers are used to having, and it helps them grow and gives them an advantage. And we think that we can make that available to all of these independent entrepreneurs, people who are doing what they love, and help them do more of what they love and think less about logistics and all of these things that we can put into the product. So our goal is to build this end-to-end operating system that solves the problems that we think we might have, the things that we can anticipate for you, or the things that really primarily our customers tell us need to solve. So that is, we are changing over time. We'll always begin with this marketplace, but we'll add more to it as we learn what's important to our customers. Why are we here? Well, I think at the end of the day, we have an entire team of people that are really passionate about these brands. They either have brands of their own, they have family members like me who own shops or own brands themselves or started something. And we really believe in those people. We believe that entrepreneurship is a calling. It is something that is really meaningful. It means a lot to our communities. And we want to see more diverse high streets. We want to see downtowns. We want to see things that we find that align with our values, and know that that's something that's going to be around for a long time.
Oh, brilliant. Well, it's absolutely fantastic to speak to you today. Last few comments. Popsy Clunk, such good advice, really interesting, just so to understand different platforms. Vintage playing cards, Faire has been brilliant for us. Katie Tickler Illustrations, just had my first order with Faire, it's great. Happy Planet Designs, I'm definitely going to apply. With that, thank you so much for your time this morning. It's been a lovely start to the day to understand more about Faire. And thank you, just for building something that's definitely going to help this community.
Well, thank you. It was so wonderful to get to share it. And it was good for me to kind of see what answers I know right off the top of my head and where more research and we can help with in the future.
Thank you so much. Bless you. Take care. Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Well, that was absolutely brilliant, wasn't it, everyone? And remember how we started this week. We wanted to know what else we could do. How does the basket, look, I'm going to get my basket. Oh, am I, Holly? Hang on a minute. Why do I try and do these things? I'm not going to get a basket, Holly. We all know what a basket is. It's just I have my Easter shoot all around me. We're not going to put all our eggs in one basket. We are going to make sure that we diversify, that we are not relying on algorithms that can change, and that we are going to think about wholesale. Remember what everyone's saying. You look at all these comments coming through, this community helping each other, a lot of love for Faire. Remember though, wholesale might not be your thing, right? You might not have the margin. You might not want to do this. You might not want to have your product pushed out like that. You need to think about what is right for you. But I do think that this is an interesting option. You have to get your money right, everyone. Your margins, there is no point. It's all our ego speaking and feeling fantastic when we get an order for 500 items. But if you are making 1 penny for each one of those items, this is you not concentrating on what matters. We've got to get into the detail of those things. Now we're going to think about money on Monday. As I said, I was at a book launch with Michaela Green, who talked about the money edit. This is about personal side of things. We're going to do that on Monday. Tomorrow I'm with Dave Bonaguidi and Eleanor Tattersfield from Marby and Elm. If you've ever seen any of us three together, it is rather, well, I'm just going to try and keep it clean. That's the first thing I'm going to try and do. Keep these two clean, definitely Eleanor. And we're going to be talking about creativity and how to recharge this creative being that we are, how to get that Duracell battery working, how can we be innovative, because it's only us that's going to be the ones that pump the sort of flame into our business. No one else will do that. Actually, if anything else, slightly the world pours water on our flames. So we have got to know how to be a fire starter. The coffee shop colouring book, this has been brilliant, super helpful, thank you. Very glad. Dottie Lee, also helpful. I've been looking at Faire for a few months, but all the tips and advice and guidance have answered so many questions. Kylie Velkus, this has been brilliant. So much information. Not enough coffee here. Hello, you. This has definitely sparked my interest. Happy Planet Designs, thank you. Great interview. Hooked and Needle London, just applied. Thank you so much for introducing me to this platform. Wouldn't you love one? Thank you. I'm going to rewatch this and then go for it. Right. The other thing I've got for you is if you head to holly.co, to the Advice Hub. If you've never been there, you want to go there. Small business newspaper. We write exclusively for you. You can go over there and learn about the pros and cons of wholesale. So I've written an entire article for you. And also tonight, if you are around 7:30, I'm going to be going live, raising money for Voices for Children, which is a charity raising money for Ukrainian kids. We've got an amazing art auction happening tonight, 7:30. I've even got a glitter gavel because I'm going to become an auctioneer. And I am so excited about this. It's just crazy. I'm going to be able to bang my gavel. We have got unbelievable pieces of artwork from Rob Ryan, from Anthony Burrell, Dave Bonaguidi. These are all Very, very sought after pieces, right? And actually the artwork is incredible. I think we've got over 20 pieces of artwork. It's going to be going live tonight at 7:30. We're raising money for the children in Ukraine. All money raised will be going straight to them. And also I'll show you around the amazing workshop that has literally been painted with sunflowers across the everything. So it's just absolutely beautiful. Hope you found this helpful. I hope to see you at 7:30 tonight. I hope to see you at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Thank you for you guys sharing all your information with each other. Lots of love to you all. Have wonderful days, and I'll see you tonight and tomorrow.